Good morning, Commissioners. Jamie Williams, Certified Economic Developer and Economic and Tourism Development Director for Kent County. I've been employed with Kent County for 12 years. So in those 12 years, I've heard that the county only has 2 designated growth areas outside of the towns and surrounding the towns, and those are the 301 corridor and the Ward Industrial Area. The proposed zoning text amendment does not negate any process, approval, or regulations. Projects must meet zoning regulations and must be approved by the Planning Commission to ensure the project meets all regulations, and concerns of those projects are offered by agencies at the project level. The amendment simply allows proposed projects to apply for approval. Commercially zoned land accounts for only 5.9% of unincorporated property in Kent County. Along the 301 corridor, properties affected by this amendment total approximately 2,100 acres. Of that 2,100 acres, some of the parcels have wetlands that are undevelopable. We are talking less than 1% of the land that will be zoned for this type of development on the 301 corridor. 15-foot is minimal when it comes to building heights. With a 100-foot setback, the average person cannot tell the difference between a 45 and a 60-foot building. And building views can be mitigated through the project approval process, where it belongs, not during a zoning text amendment process. The time to oppose designated growth areas or zoning districts has long passed. In the Kent County News on May 18, 2023, from our earlier files, which was 25 years ago, it reads, "A lack of public water and sewer and water services in Millington may hamper the town's commercial and industrial potential into the next century," says Kent County's Economic Development Chief. Dave Taylor delivered that cautionary message when he appeared at Millington's Mayor and Council meeting May 6th to discuss the county's strategic plan for economic development. Among the plan's goals is the expansion of commercial development along the 301 corridor, a main north-south federal route. A feasibility study was completed in August 2022. The county commissioners committed $1.1 million from the Rural Maryland Economic Development Fund for the Millington Wastewater Treatment Facility expansion in partnership with the town of Millington. Public water and sewer are being addressed. In the site selection process, the land must be zoned properly to even get to the short list of properties that are considered for expansion or location. Time is money for developers, and investors are going to choose the path that maximizes their return on investment. Let's act now to bring jobs, capital investment, economic growth, and increased revenue to Kent County and our towns. Our residents cannot afford another 25 years of declining population and stagnation. Let's send a clear message that Kent County is open for business. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Christopher Kent. Michael Kent, my son, and I own the farm located at 31245 Chesterville Bridge Road, also known as Deer Haven locally. We've owned it since 2002. Shortly after we bought it, we put it in trust with the Maryland Environmental Trust, and because our acreage was sufficient, it allowed Judy Tubman, who lives next door, to put hers in. I'm here to speak briefly. I did submit a letter to Mr. Yeager, and it will be read into the record. But something occurred to me, so I came over this morning. We're very much in favor of development. We're not in favor of development of high cube warehouses, and that's exactly what a 60-foot warehouse does. It's not a business that brings jobs. The reality is they're all run by machines. And believe me, robots don't pay taxes, robots don't shop locally, robots don't buy homes locally, and also they don't vote. So I'm here to encourage you to do the right thing and to reject this 60-foot height. The notion that if you don't increase it, you're not going to have development is nonsense.
Okay, Melinda Bookwalter, My husband and I have been 38 years in Kent County. On our back border is Mills Branch, and we are opposed to the text amendment height. I'm trying to adjust my time here as we go along. Everton Industry has a contract with Russ Richardson to purchase this property and build 256,000 logistics distribution centers. The out-of-scale and massive size of these structures will greatly increase traffic, infrastructure issues, noise, pollution, while compromising the environment. This increase in height will also extend to the east side of 301 for commercial, industrial, and employment centers. So as one distribution center comes up, more can follow. The design firm that this team uses is LRK, or has used in Philadelphia, recommended this increase to allow for robotics, automation, and vertical storage. It raises the interior volume of the building each by 30%. And silos and grain elevators do not have impervious surface of 256,000 square feet. There are 3 different types of distribution centers. 1, people move the stuff. 2, mechanization moves the material. And 3, robots and automation move the material, which is why one of the reasons this request was made. The average Walmart warehouse worker hourly pay in Elkton, I just checked on this yesterday, is $15.37. Millington's Planning Commission, Millington, has submitted a letter opposing the height increase. Millington's Volunteer Fire Department has submitted a letter opposing the height increase for safety reasons. They don't have equipment to fight a fire that might occur. The Kent County Planning Commission found that the text amendment is not in the best interest of the public and gave it an unfavorable recommendation with a suggestion that it be a special exception case by case. Multiple towns and many areas throughout the country have regretted their short-sighted vision in allowing these oversized distribution centers to come up. Promises of jobs and revenue were overstated. What do we know about Everton Industry LLC and its deliverables regarding past projects? To what degree will robotics and automation eliminate jobs? To what degree will this hurried and short-sighted lack of information and experience harm our communities, people, and the people who live there? Please, last sentence, please, commissioners, do not in haste and without adequate research make an ill-informed decision that could impact your friends, neighbors, and families for generations. There is time enough for thoughtful consideration.
I'm David Foster, Mayor of Chestertown, 25-year resident of Chestertown. I live at 17 Byford Court. I believe that we all share the same goals of seeking to improve services and opportunities for all our citizens, protecting our environment, and minimizing tax increases. The only way I know to do that is by improving our tax base, by attracting more investment to the areas most suitable for development. I believe that economic development is a competitive activity. You've heard me before speak about the adverse impact of imposing disproportionate and arbitrary tax rates on municipalities and their areas for development. I think the same rule applies when we seek to impose arbitrary height limitations on the 301 corridor. Yes, I recognize there can be some adverse impacts associated with that, but I think the adverse impacts by arbitrarily saying no one can build higher than 45 will have much more significant impact on us and inhibit us from limiting our tax increases in the future. We're really in a competitive activity. We're up against tax-free Delaware. We have over 90% of our land that is reserved for agriculture. It's imperative that we do everything we can not to impose arbitrary limitations on that remaining area that's suitable for development. I support your initiative, the text amendment, and I believe that you have the capacity, even once you raise that height, to require the necessary limitations on traffic, on water use, land use, necessary setbacks, and recommend that you proceed with the text amendment as proposed. Thank you.